Hey, give me a 1, 2, 3 if y'all can hear me. Give me a 1, 2, 3 if y'all can hear me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if y'all can hear me. There we go. Resolution. All right. John. Can y'all? All right. Can y'all hear this song now? Tell me if y'all can hear this.
Looking for a Christ man.
Tell me if y'all can hear this song
one
right
who
now.
anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord, to do His will. I'm that nigga.
One way.
Hear the song now?
25th Street.
Hear me? Yeah,
Put your faith to president.
Can you hear me? All right. Yeah, I had to step away from the on the mic. I don't know. No, I'm ready. No, I'm ready. I was taking the damn fish food off the top of my. Okay.
But
Yeah, yeah.
okay, let's see. Let me pull him over here. I don't think we've seen the fish tank before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all seen the fish tank?
Hold on, wait. They can't hear you just yet. Hold on, wait. They can't hear you. Hold on. Let me resize a little. I think that's good. Okay, we're doing a little the tank. Clouded Trigger, thank you.
Clouded Trigger sent $1
wait.
on Rumble.
No,
The
wait.
captain is running on colored people time
Hold
I
on.
see.
Hold on, let me.
Man,
I wish I would have started the
good to get
recording there, but I'll repeat it for the benefit of the recording.
Yeah.
Clouded Trigger said something about a certain CPT. I don't know what
Yeah,
that
he
means.
said Cap is on CP time. I see. Man, I missed this platform, man.
The welcome wagon rolled out already.
Pay for it. Pay for it too. Hey, listen, if he paying, he can say what he want. You know, he paying for it.
I have the same mentality, sir, and it's good to have you back,
Hey,
Captain.
definitely. Glad to be back.
Yeah,
Glad to be back. You taught me something too with the Discord. I think I'm gonna try to learn that because I actually have an account, but I haven't used it. So when you mention it, it reminded me. So I think I'm gonna start using it. So appreciate that.
Yeah, I was saying maybe towards the the last 30 minutes or so, we'll jump on there. We'll see if some people want to call in maybe 1st, and then we can jump over there. But either way, he's in the Discord now. We'll throw out the link for that again as well. And yeah, it's handy for streamers, and they've kind of loosened up a little bit. They're not so ban happy recently. Not that I've ever been banned from Discord, to be clear.
Okay, you haven't been banned because we know you can't even smell YouTube, right? You can't even smell it right now.
No,
you're back in the States now, right?
I went to see my
your old lady,
my girlfriend. Yeah, in Florida. There. Yeah.
I was that. When's the last time you've been in the States?
Before that was May when I went to my son's birthday.
Okay. So you do travel back and forth.
Yeah, I went to Colombia in the first week of September as well.
Right.
Medellin, Pablo Escobar.
Was you doing what Pablo Escobar sells?
No, I would not. Captain,
hey,
come on.
Which city you Memphis or Kansas?
Memphis.
Okay.
I'm a Kansas Chiefs fan, but yeah, Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay. I was in Kansas like 2 weeks ago when I was out there. Actually, because we was messaging, I said, "Damn, I meant to tell him that I was in Kansas. I had taught a class out there, so I wasn't sure if it was Memphis. Because I know you say Memphis has the best barbecue. That's what you say, right?
Kansas City has some good barbecue, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I was out there, and when I ate that chicken, they had some barbecue chicken. I know your chat gonna go crazy because it said chicken.
Well, I'm from Memphis. I bet I've eaten more chicken than
a white man eating more chicken than the black man. You don't say.
I love watermelon too. By the way,
hey, you breaking racial barriers right there. Saying
that shit is good, dude. We used to eat that all the time. I remember watermelon season there. Right. Now here in Mexico, know it's watermelon season all year round, right? But in Memphis, anytime you're buying a watermelon outside of like the summer, it'd be like $100 or some shit.
For real?
Be
So the price goes up, like I guess.
it wouldn't be 100. I'm exaggerating, but
Right,
yeah,
but it does go up.
Yeah, outside of
That's
watermelons.
crazy. For my new audience, y'all may not be familiar. This is Ralph. It's called Ralph Retort now. It used to be called Killstream. I've been working with him for years now. I think I'm the only black guy in his Hall of Fame. So if y'all don't know, because some of my new audience might think it's crazy the conversation we're having at this level of comfortability, but this is why I've been working with Ralph for a long time, just to reintroduce you to my audience.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. We're pretty casual when
Yeah, like
these shows together.
But outside world, they'd be like, how are they?
Not everybody would be that familiar, maybe.
Right.
With these topics and comments and stuff. But yeah, I've known Captain almost 6 years now. I think.
About 6 years. Yeah, been a long time.
I remember
I've had
Halsey.
a lot. Listen, Halsey. It's been a lot. Dingo, is it Dingo?
Yeah, Dingo.
Halsey. A lot of them. The Australian guy,
Ranbot. Yeah.
M&J.
Oh no, that was the guy. Yeah, remember the guy?
What's his name? Joel or Joel?
The settler. He debated an Israeli settler live in Israel.
Oh, he did. How did that go?
Did. Oh well, you pulled out a book and
yeah. Listen, hey, let me tell y'all. When I pulled out that book, Ralph is usually calm and collective. When I pulled that book out, you could see Ralph trying to hide the laughter in his face. I may have to put that clip up to remind people. And Ralph crazy because Ralph said, "Hey, can you show that to us again for my audience that they might have missed that part? They didn't see it. Can you pull out that book again?" I said, "Sure, I'll pull the book out." And it was an epic moment. It was.
He had the book ready. So that happened. Yeah, he debated a lot of people on the show, but it all started with Halsey. Well, how do you think Halsey's doing right now?
I don't know. What is he doing? I don't know. Alive? I don't know.
I mean, I think he may still be alive. He's been mad at me ever since he got in my mentions talking some bullshit, and I made fun of him for you dunking on him all those times.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing about it is, you're like the moderator. You're the one that just sets it up. Yeah. Like he got to get in there. You got to fend for yourself, man. Shoot your shot. And if you lose your shot, that's not your fault for that.
It was brutal. By the way, you got a super chat real quick.
Okay,
here. We'll go into some of the topics here. We're just doing a little monologue at the outset here.
Okay.
This is the super chat. I don't know if you know this super chat voice. Let me see if it goes. Go super chat. There we go.
Question for the guest. Send $3. Question for the guest. I, the viewer, have a question for the guest.
Yeah, we got.
What does this guy think of Hassan Faker given the new allegations of animal abuse? Should he be denaturalized and deported?
Hassan,
I don't know who that is. I mean, we appreciate the super chat, but who is he? Is he somebody that I should know or
Turkish American?
Definitely kick him out if he Turkish.
Get him out of here.
Kick him out. Kick his family out. Grab their family. Rip them out of the house. If they in school, just rip them all out. That's what I say to do. That's what I say.
If you ever wanted to keep a Turk around, let's be real. If we had an option to get rid of one, you'd probably get rid of him.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, they sent Michael Vick to jail.
Yeah, no, they did.
Michael Vick was fighting dogs. He would have been what Lamar Jackson is right now currently. Who knows what his career would have been. So if they could throw an American in jail for what he did to dogs, for sure they can go ahead and kick this foreigner out for what he did to dogs. Because y'all love dogs. Y'all love dogs more than y'all love black people.
That made me mad when I was a big fan of Michael Vick too, though. So I didn't really want to see him go like that. But,
yeah, Michael Vick, man, gambling dogs. He couldn't play football no more. And I'm not saying you're supposed to abuse animals. I'm not with the abuse of anybody.
No, it's wrong. Don't get me. Yeah, it's totally wrong.
He's like, that's like one of them what ifs because he didn't have no injury. And then when he came out, he had another
run with the Eagles. Remember the Eagles?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like he had a couple of years of really good football. So imagine if he would have stayed and been allowed to play. So it's it's one of them stories like, what if?
He's coaching now. I forget the team that he's coaching.
Yeah, he's coaching a college football, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I mean, because like when we think about it, man, like Lawrence Taylor, greatest football player off of crack. So who knows what a healthy Michael Vick would have been able to do? Because he wasn't on crack; he was just battling dogs and stuff. So that was a little crazy.
He set up a dog operation. I know a lot about.
He had a whole operation.
He set up a whole operation. That was
another diabolical. Like it ain't no getting around that one.
Fighting a dog or two. He had a whole.
He had a whole.
He gave it to his homies to like run, and he would come around every once in a while, and they got rolled up. And,
it was insane. Like I have no defense for that. That's why I said I'm not with the abuse of any animals.
One of those things. It was he had a love for that. I think fighting dogs. Growing up, I never fought dogs. I never liked that. But growing up where I did, I know a lot of people who fought dogs. Like I knew people who did that, and it was definitely a thing down in the South. And so it seemed like he kind of liked it, and then he was helping his guys out, right, giving them something to do. But he definitely didn't have to do that at all, and got federal charges over it. Now, speaking of the feds, what about not the feds,
right?
Although we're going to talk about the so-called Jews because today is October the 7th. I don't know if you knew that or not.
What's this? But it's like 2 years now, right? Or is it the first year?
No, it's 2 years.
2 years since they went rogue criminal on the Palestinians.
Yep, 2 years today.
2 years.
And they're still killing them ever since. By the way, they're having peace talks supposedly now. I think in Sharm el Sheikh.
I don't believe.
Well, I don't put a lot of faith in it either.
Yeah, like your country, America, man. They it's like an expansion of Israel right now. The way it's. The way America looks like. I was riding and I was thinking about all the things that we're going to talk about, and I was like the so-called Jewish man is like the worst human being almost, because it's not that he unalives people, because a lot of people unalive people. It's not like he's a pedophile. A lot of different races are pedophiles, but he's the only person that at the same time he's unaliving all of those Palestinians, also wants you to believe he's the most innocent, pure human being at the same time. And that's what makes him more diabolical. Like he wants us to believe that the Palestinians and the other people that he's bombing are like the worst set of people. They're doing everything wrong, and he's not criminal at all. And that's what makes him like diabolical to me.
Now, what about Israel itself? Do you think that they're going to be able to hold out? Well, first off, what do you think of the 2 years that we've been witness to here?
In 2 years, we've witnessed great hypocrisy from the so-called Jew. I think, and this is not to say that I'm pro-Hamas or pro-Palestinian. I'm not. But as an observer of right and wrong, they clearly bombed them and pushed out a propaganda that they was rebelling, that they was fighting. And as we're seeing, they are unaliving with no remorse. So for 2 years, for them to be able to unalive with no remorse, I think that speaks volumes for itself, because America won't step in like they've stepped in with every other. The only time you see America steps in is when someone actually attacks the Israelis. When the Israelis get attacked, now America wants to play this great mediator. But outside of that, they let them do what they want. They let them be murderous bastards. Like that's such a murderous regime, is what I would say.
And _flag sent $1 on Rumble.
Well, no, wait. Hold on, wait.
The apostle?
I'll ask that in a second, but that's kind of a totally different topic. And
right, it's a different topic. Like what we're seeing is the diabolicalness of the so-called Jew. The so-called Jew, and he don't care. That's the thing that gets me, because I've seen, we've seen regimes go to war and stuff like that, but America, normally being the superpower, would have a far greater voice of reasoning where they would listen. I think if you think about it, Donald Trump has said, I remember when they was first bombing each other, Donald Trump made something like, they don't know what the fuck they doing. I believe that's how he said it, which lets you know how out of control they were. And really Iran, I believe that was the ones, they were really in defense mode from the attacks that the so-called Jew is doing to him. Like the so-called, and that's why I said he's the most diabolical, because he wants you to make it seem like he's the one doing everything from a self-defense when he's been nothing but the aggressor the whole time. And if you go back, like, and this one I be battling so-called Jewish people, when you go back to the Belfort Act, when you go back to all the different decrees that they had initially signed, they weren't supposed to expand into what they're expanding. So really, they're violating every treaty that they've ever made in the Middle East, and no one is holding them accountable. And the minute that you say something, the minute that you express concern, the minute that you say that they're doing something wrong, then they're going to pull up anti-Semitism. They're going to say they have the right. They're going to paint this picture. And the propaganda machine, I think Netanyahu said the internet is where they win the war. Like,
yeah, he did.
That's the propaganda machine that they have. I think Candace Owens is like the queen of the rabbit hole right now. Because Candace Owens. Go ahead. You was gonna say no. You was gonna say something.
No, that was a super chat. Go ahead. Finish your thoughts.
Candace Owens is like the queen of the rabbit hole right now, because she's the one playing that video. Which I don't know if that's a new or old video, but she's playing a video where Netanyahu says we have to win the war of the internet. Like the social media is like from the time of COVID up until now, the internet really controls the narrative of everything. And so right now, because the internet is what everybody watching, who has cable? Most people are using Fios in the internet just for the internet access. Nobody's really watching TV. Everybody's watching Rumble, YouTube, Discord, Twitter. They're watching all those different places. So when I see somebody be pro-Israel, I know that they're in the pot, especially if they're prominent. If they're a prominent person speaking for Israel, I know that they're paid for. So these 2 years, it's not going to stop until they eradicate. And this might not sink into a lot of people's heads, but in the Israelis, the so-called Jews' mind, it's not going to be over until they own all of the Middle East. As they keep expanding, it's not going to be enough. Like even in the Bible, it says when a robber robs, wouldn't he leave some grapes? Like when you rob something, wouldn't you leave something for somebody else? You would leave something there. But the so-called Jew, he's not planning on leaving nothing. Like that's the end game is not stopping Hamas. The end game is running the whole region, getting all of that land. That's the end. He don't know how to stop.
I can't really find much to disagree with.
Oh man,
and what I've been saying, like, and you can't say they haven't been winning because they have been, right? I mean, if you just look at it honestly, yeah, they've been winning, but they're pissing a lot of people off, and I've never seen this type of environment on Twitter and just the internet in general. It's stuff, we got to dance around some things and be lighthearted, this and that, and still got kicked off of fucking 75% of the platforms and money changers and all this shit. Now they're just flat out quoting Hitler and, transcribing his speeches and the Jew this and that and the other. They would have tried to put me in prison 4 years ago.
Right. But now it's like normal. Because if you say anything,
I'm moderate now, Cap. That's what I'm saying. I'm moderate compared to some of these people out here. I'm like, wow, I'm just trying to have fun, laugh at this shit. They're ready to start the trains back up again. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that big thing with America owning TikTok is going to be something. I want to see when America owns TikTok. You're going to see a flood of more pro-Israel. But what I want to see is if the language changed, because you can't really say nothing on TikTok. I rarely go on TikTok because you can't say you can't say none of the community words. You can't say none of the community words. You can't say no racial epithets. You can't even even on YouTube you say unalive, but you can't even say, you got to say something else besides unalive. Like I had a picture in my background. It was like it was a picture like white Jesus and black people looking up to white Jesus. That's all I had. And they told me while I'm doing the live, they censored the live. And told me because of the picture I had in my background. It wasn't my language or anything like that. It was my picture that I had in the background, and I had to redo it. It was diabolical. I couldn't understand it. And so I think there's social media change. And I'm gonna tell you, Charlie, listen, if you go down that rabbit hole, people say Charlie Kirk was taken out because he was leaving supporting them Jewish people.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. You know what? We'll come back to October 7th, maybe.
Okay.
We got a couple of super chats here, and I'll get to those in a second. Don't think I forgot. We'll ask them all. But you mentioned Candace Owens. You mentioned Charlie Kirk.
Right.
I want to talk about Charlie Kirk anyway. But Candace has been at the forefront of, she says she's investigating his murder along with the
Yeah, that's what
bombing
she said.
army. And she's kind of been looking a little, I would say, ridiculous up until yesterday, though. And yesterday she dropped these texts, which they've already admitted were real, which I figured they were real already, or she was going to get sued, big time.
Right.
But
are you talking about the text with Charlie saying he was stepping away? He wasn't going to be,
yeah, he wasn't going to be pro-Israel anymore because the Jews were holding up the money over him just trying to be somewhat fair about the issue. And he was tired of it. He wasn't going to succumb to those type of tricks, those type of tactics, we'll say. And
that's too big for your britches. That's why I said she's the queen of the rabbit hole. Because once she released them text messages, so before Candace Owens was talking about Charlie Kirk not being unalived by the white guy in love with a transgender, apparently. It was other people saying that it was staged. And and I don't go down this rabbit hole because I remember when the Sandy Hook happened, they said that didn't happen. They always say they got these stage actors and stuff like that. And a part of me be saying to myself, like, they just doing that because they can't believe white people can unalive white people. That's what I would say. I'm just joking. But when but Candace Owens, so most people that was saying like that like doing the whole conspiracy wasn't at like a Candace Owens level because she is extremely popular. And you would think she would be responsible with what she says. And so now Candace Owens saying it, like you said, she looked batshit crazy at first, but now she's showing these text messages, and that's gonna fuel everybody of all that already dislikes. Like what I find, here's what I've also found. Like a lot of like my leader, Commander Jenny Hanna, was just doing this dialogue with Jake
Shields.
Yeah, Jake Shields, right? So I was actually just at Jake Shields' studio in Las Vegas Sunday. It was my leader, Commander Jenny Hanna, and Jake Shields sitting down having a back and forth. And what I always find with Jake Shields' type of speaking, he believes that him and I, or him and Commander Jenny Hanna, should be united against the Jewish man because that's the real threat. And so now when people like Jake Shields sees,
certainly heard of that before, but anyway,
you've heard it on Killstream, like y'all were like I don't know if they give you your props, Ralph, but y'all were like the leaders of that. Like I remember every guest that you would have on here, as we go, we would do our little black and white thing with the guests, and then when it came to that so-called Jew, every last one of your guests would love us because of that. Like y'all played the video with my general when he made the Jewish boy cry.
Yeah. So
y'all are the front runners of that. You know what I mean? And so now what I find, when Candace Owens comes out with that, she's going to fuel all of them. All of them are going to start believing that. And I think what makes it imperative that Candace Owens actually put that out is you're going to see a lot more white people like Charlie Kirks on that level that lose faith in the Israelis or the so-called Jew. That's what you're going to see. I think you're seeing a lot of people lose faith in Trump too, but you're going to see people start looking at them so-called Jews even more sketchy.
Well, can it hold up? They're doing everything they can to kind of maintain the status quo, and they have all the money and they control, the military and the police and all that shit. So they have
control Hollywood, Diamond District,
all the media and all this shit.
Social media, the banks.
Turn this shit off. They could turn it off. Let's just be real. They kind of just leave it as a pressure release valve. You know what I mean? They could turn us off too if they wanted to. But are they kind of losing enough support where even politicians who are bribed and paid off are kind of thinking twice?
About it.
If Charlie Kirk, if they lost that guy, that would have been unthinkable just a year ago, much less 5 years ago. And so is that a sign?
What did you say about the Charlie Kirk part?
Well, them losing Charlie Kirk, which apparently they did, and then he got his head damn near blown off, which is kind of weird. They lost him. That would have been unthinkable a few years ago.
Yeah. If we go by, that would be unthinkable. You know what's crazy about Charlie Kirk getting killed? He got killed in like one of the whitest states in America.
I know.
You know,
Utah.
Yeah, Utah, one of the whitest states in a white college, and he wasn't safe. When I think about Charlie, right? When I think about Charlie said that a white man is more likely to get shot by a black man, get killed by a black man than a white man. And then he gets shot.
Statistically, that might be true. I don't know. I haven't run the numbers, but he got shot by allegedly a white guy there. Yeah.
Even if a so-called Jewish man did it, white people set it up. We didn't have nothing to do with it. There was these white kids that that crashed this black HBCU in Tennessee, and they came there. They had like MAGA hats on. They had anti-DEI stuff and everything like that to rile the black kids up, which they did. They riled the black kids up. But you know what? Them white kids or them white people, white men rather, they made it home safe. They didn't get harmed. They didn't get beat up. They didn't get shot. So maybe if Charlie would have went to the HBCUs instead of the white college, he'd be alive today. He wouldn't be dead right now.
I do want, perhaps, but I'll say this. I wonder if they just didn't do enough security at that place too, or it could have been some type of hit job and it was a setup.
Yeah, maybe they took it. Maybe
they took it a little lightly because, it's Utah Valley.
Nobody's gonna shoot Charlie in Utah. It's
Yeah.
Utah. The Mormons are there.
Like home field advantage, you know what I mean? They kind of caught slacking a little bit, right? Like,
and was the guy a Trump supporter? The shooter.
That I don't think is. He's a tranny chaser. I think his family was
definitely a homosexual. That's crazy. That's crazy too that he got shot by a tranny. And he asked about
tranny chaser. He fucked trannies. I don't think he was a tranny himself.
Okay, he was definitely gay though.
Yeah. Yes.
He's definitely gay, and
definitely gay.
Yeah, and the timing of that is damn near cinematic when you think about it, because the question that he was being asked was someone challenging that transgenders are the leaders of mass shootings, because like a week or so, maybe like a week before that, Donald Trump wanted to restrict transgenders from being able to own weapons because he was saying they were not mentally stable, which I do agree. Homosexuals are not mentally stable. All of them. Meaning, like, because if you walk and live the opposite life that God created you, there has to be something mentally wrong with it. It used to be in the DSM to the 70s.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, and them homos in San Francisco made them change it. That's why San Francisco is considered the capital of the homosexuals. So I think when they did that, what the person asking Charlie the question was to bring about how there's been more mass shootings by heterosexual people than trans people. And then Charlie says, what about gang violence or something like that? And then pop, he gets shot. That's cinematic. That's a movie. Like if they was to do a Charlie Kirk movie, that's a hell of a build up to die on. When you think about it.
I agree. I agree with that. Also agree, trannies. I wouldn't mind seeing them get their guns taken away. I don't think that's a problem. If they can take a felon's gun away, goddamn! If this motherfucker cuts his or even thinks about it,
what would make a man cut his penis off is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even. Long time. We don't have this episode anymore, but because it got lost when my YouTube got deleted.
Mm-hmm.
We had a episode of the Killstream, maybe the 9th or 10th episode.
Okay. We
had a couple trannies on here, and it wasn't a fight or anything. I was just like, well, trying to understand it. I never could.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. And tranny ain't nothing. Back in the day, they used to call them transvestites. That used to be the original name.
Yeah, you're right.
Was trans.
And they separated transvestite is just like cross dresser basically type now, right?
Right. I think the transgender. Yeah. So really, technically, if you didn't change your body parts, you should still be a transvestite.
Yes.
But if you change the body parts, that's when they call it transgender. Which when you think about it, is diabolical, because what they saying is that you can just be a woman by having titties in the ass. When men already technically have breasts, it's just man's breasts. Men already have a butt, it's just not supposed to be a big butt. You know, that's for a woman. And so now just by changing that, you can call yourself a transgender. That's
demeaning women is what it is. I know I'm known as misogynist or whatever, but that's pretty. How can you be more demeaning towards women? Yeah. Honestly,
you know, and I'm glad you said that, because I always say like the most male chauvinistic people are homosexuals and trans.
Yes,
because we might be chauvinistic in a way where we want to be dominant over you, we want to have sex with you. We might take advantage of you, only look at you physically. That's normal man shit. The homosexual and transgender is saying their ass is better than a woman's vagina. That's what the homosexual is saying. The homosexual is saying my cut off body part.
Does it get any more anti-woman than that?
Yeah, that is the epitome of anti-woman. And then they get to listen. Homosexuals get to call women bitches. They get to tell women how to dress. They control. Like, women submit to homosexuals and don't realize it's misogyny. Don't even realize it. They have every designer, because I had looked this up. Every designer is gay. Think about that. And every designer controls how women dress. Versace, Vera Wang, Gucci, all of those designers are all homosexual men. And homosexual men came and told women how to dress, and they accepted it. But if you tell your woman, I don't like them clothes you got on, you can't tell them what to do. But the homosexual could tell them what to do.
Homosexuals got him under his thumb. It's true, and it doesn't even get thought about ever. Now I see Ice likes that in chat. Let me also see there's some super chats. Let me play those, and we'll go into some other topics. Get in the Discord if you want to call in. I should keep mentioning this.
Yeah, get in the Discord if you want. Call in. This is definitely a live show. I haven't been on here in a while.
Yeah, it's been
Yep, it's been a while.
I wanted to set up a debate, but it was kind of short notice, and I don't know if we've done an interview like this, maybe once, but it's been a long time since we just talked.
Yep, it has.
I knew that'd be good too. All right, let's see.
Randall_flag sent $1 on Rumble. Captain, was Jesus black? The apostles? Was Muhammad black? In black churches, Jesus is often depicted as black. Checkmate Zionists.
All right, there's Randall there. What?
Yes, to answer your question, Jesus was black, the apostles was black, the Israelite. And when I'm saying black is the colloquial word that we would use today. They would be Israelites back then from the tribe of Judah, what we would identify as black today. That's probably the intellectual way to say it. Because just to say black, because somebody might say, well, black wasn't a race back then, and they're correct. So they would be Israelites from the tribe of Judah, but they would have melanin skin. They definitely wouldn't look white like the so-called Jewish man who come from the Caucasus Mountains, who come from Georgia. I remember Helen Thomas got kicked out of the White House when she said they should go back home. And they said, well, where's home at? She said, yeah, Russia, Poland. They fired her that night. That night she got fired.
She's been front row of the press briefing since the Kennedy administration. And I think that was that Obama or Bush? I don't know, but it was like 50 or 60 years later. And she said something about the Jews, so-called.
Yeah.
And they got rid of her. Literally, he's right. That night. Before the next day, she was gone. And she'd had the front row seat. And she
front row. She was in that office since what, like Roosevelt or something? That white woman was old.
It might have been Kennedy. I don't know. It might have been before Kennedy, even way back. And they always, yeah.
I'm gonna Google to see how long.
I think she's finally dead now. Yeah, she died.
Finally, that's crazy. He said,
let's see, 1960. No, it was Kennedy. I was right. Yeah,
okay, 1960. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's still a long time.
Under Obama.
That's like 40 something years.
Oh no, it's longer than that. So 1960.
No, she got kicked out.
It was damn near 50. Actually, it was 50 something years. What was it 2010? So no, it's about 50 exact years because 2010 she got fired. So Yep. Now, okay, one more here. Powerchat.live/the Robert Tort. Oh, I don't think he knows about this, Mama JF. Let's see if it goes through. Yeah.
Quick question.
Mama JF sent $3 quick question. Does the guest happen to know anyone in Canadian law enforcement that's
You picked this
trying to
list?
make their career? Because I got a doozy.
This is this voice is a voice you don't know it, but that's a super chat voice we have of a real life person, and she goes by Mama JF, but her real name is something else, Laura something or another.
Oh, okay.
And she went missing. She's a streamer's
Oh, she
wife.
was missing?
Yeah, like a couple years ago now, I think, and he's suspected to have killed her. And he's been on this show a few times, but so she lived in our super chats.
Did he take her camping on a fishing trip or something?
Yeah, well, he dropped her off.
Yeah.
He had an alibi. He was seen by 55 different cameras, just so happened to be, right? You know what I mean? It was one of those cases, and they kind of know he did it, right? And they just can't prove it because he's really fucking smart. He cleaned his house bottom to top to bottom with chemicals and shit a week or so after, and yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff there. I don't know.
That's crazy. Because, you would think that they would investigate that, especially with the chemicals and everything.
Well, they did investigate it. They sat outside his house for months and months and harassed him, and he finally moved. But yeah, they still think he's a murderer, I believe, but they just can't prove it. So yeah, they definitely did investigate it. But
yeah, that's diabolical. Sorry
What
to
is that?
talk about the white girl.
yeah, well, I guess nobody cared that much other than us. But
I know.
she was French, so
She was a foreigner too.
well, she was Quebec, Canada, right? Quebec. They have a bunch of
Yeah. That's right.
frogs up there already. So now let me see here in the chat. First off, what about that? What's that make you think about
Which one?
is it easier to get away with murder if you're white versus black, do you think?
Absolutely. Because
Have
they
you
don't
talked-
because they don't. You know what's funny? I on ChatGPT. I did this study on white people and with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, and it's extremely hard to profile white men when you think about it. Like when every time a white guy unalives somebody, it's always a shocker. It's like y'all can't accept that they would actually do it because white people in general are looked at as being innocent, whereas black people in general are looked at as criminals. So based on perception, I mean, when you think about Charlie's rhetoric was that black people was 13% of the population, 55% of the crime or murder. And
1355 is what he would say.
Yeah, 1355 is what he say. And what's crazy about that is the average person might think that 55% of black people are murderers, but that's not what that's not what he's saying the 55% represents, but that's what he's projecting that the 55% represents. But what he's trying to say is the 55% supposedly represents the murder total. So out of the total number of murders, he's saying that black people represent 55% of that. But when you think about the amount of people, it's like 49 to 50 million black people in America. So I think when I looked it up last, I think black people accounted for maybe 4,000 or 5,000 murders. White people accounted for maybe 8,000, maybe 9,000 murderers. So even if you take those numbers, there's still millions of black people that don't commit murder. So when we're looking at the abject of crime, they should just call it crime. It shouldn't be called black crime, white crime. It should just be crime in America. Where it becomes racial is because the image that they want to portray of black people is that we're criminal, we're murderers, we're thieves, we do all those things. There was a number that I looked up where it was like 28%. I'm gonna see if I can find this stat line. And so that's why a white shooter can always just shoot up a school, can always shoot up Utah, like they did with Charlie, can shoot up anything because it's unexpected. Whereas a black person, police and people in Americans in general are always on edge when they see black people. They're never on edge. I'll give an example, and this ain't a white or black thing about black people. This is white and black people. Look at black people as we're more criminals based on the propaganda that America has pushed. I remember one time it's like 12 of my Israelite brothers. We was at a hotel. So we go to this hotel in North Carolina. So, you know, we got some brothers got their all black on. We got boots on. We got our fringes and stuff like that. And so it looks intimidating. But as we're in the hotel and we're seeing people like walk in and out with like, hey, how you doing? Holding the door for them, doing things like that, to where then people start coming up and asking and having conversations with us, wanting to know more about us. And they say, I would have never thought y'all was this kind, because they go by the perception that we have. Whereas the white man that's a child molester looks like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He looks so calm. Like, think of Jeffrey Dahmer. If somebody saw Jeffrey Dahmer walking down the street, nobody's thinking that he got niggas in the refrigerator ready to eat him. Nobody's thinking that.
And he was gay, by the way. Just,
right.
We should have known already. This guy's sick.
Right, they should have. But but America doesn't look at it like that, because the whole black and white thing, like if America really wanted to solve, this is the stat I wanted to say. So it says, despite making up only 28% of the USA population, FBI data shows that white men are 55% of the kidnappers, 56% of the rapists, 58% mass shooters, 59% child porn arrests, 62% statutory rapists or pedophiles, 63% prostitution solicitors, 68% of 1934 NFA offenders, 75% of incest perpetrators. But when we talk about crime, we're the picture, like we're the pillar. And this ain't even like a 90s thing, because I remember when the war on drugs came out, and of course, black people, sell drugs like everybody else sell drugs, but they tried to make it seem like black people were so violent. And I remember watching this video from Bill Cosby in the 70s. And in that video in the 70s, Bill Cosby is talking about the same thing we talk about now. And what he would say is, when a black person commits a crime, how they would write it up in the news, they would say, black person robs this person. Black person unalives this person. But when a white person would do the crime, they wouldn't say black or white. They would just say, man did this. And so I think that's where it lies at. So and I'm glad you asked that question, because my whole sum total of the conversation is like, black people did not create black versus white dynamic. We're just on a defense of the black versus white dynamic because of how white people perceive us criminally. Even though when we look up the numbers or statistics, which are only arrests and not even convictions, when we look up the numbers and statistics, white people in general are more criminal than every other ethnicity. And it's not because they're more, because of course there's more of you than us. So it's not even from that position. It's just that you're just more criminal. And one more thing on crime, when people bring up the term black on black crime, there's no such thing as black on black crime. And I know when I say that, I was talking to White 100, me and him had a whole back and forth about it. It blew their mind, because in their mind, they're saying, so you say black people don't commit crime against black people? No, that's not what I'm saying. But there's no such thing as black on black crime, just like there's no such thing as white on white crime. Crime is crime. Like black people don't, when a white person commits a crime against a black person, or a black person commits a crime against a white person, that's usually racial. 90% of the time, that's a race-related crime. So if I committed a crime against Ralph, it's probably race-related. If Ralph committed a crime against me, it's probably race-related. But if I committed a crime against Black Danny next door, that's just situational. That is more environmental. Nobody said no black person commits a crime against another black person in their community because they're black. It's just that's the crime local to them.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but like it's still on black. It's still blacks this statistic is still blacks committing crimes against other blacks, though, right? So
Yeah, it is blacks committed crimes against blacks, but so I'll
not
ask
because of black, but just crimes against blacks, right? Does that make
Right.
sense? Hold on.
yeah, no,
And $2
Hold on, wait,
on Rumble. Hey, Captain.
One
Serious
second.
question.
Hold on, wait,
what
one
do you
second.
think about
I got Sage in there, and Ice wants a question too, but I just want to finish this a little bit here.
yeah. And so
It's
what I was
not because they're black, but it's just the effect.
right,
It's,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
the reason why I say that is because you've never heard the term white on white crime, Asian on Asian crime,
No, you don't really know.
Arab on Arab crime, because there's no propaganda for that. But there's a propaganda of black on black crime. So I agree with you. I'm not saying that it's not black on black crime when you're looking at it statistically, but the reason that they're trying to push it is what I'm talking about. Now, let's say if they push, man, white people, y'all got to stop doing this to white people. Now that's even, because they're saying blacks stop doing this to blacks, white stop doing this to white. But the propaganda is to pump black on black crime, but they don't pump a white on white crime. And when there's white gangs, there's white drug dealers, there's white drug addicts, just like there's black gangs, black drug dealers, black drug addicts. America is criminal in its foundation. So crime exists, but it's only when you try to make one race worse than the other, that's when there's an agenda there.
I wish they would talk about it, honestly, but yeah, you're right. They don't really.
Right.
And that aspect of it, you're right. Now let me see here. We got some other stuff. I see the chat getting worked up about that last part. Okay, now let me look for this here. There were a couple. First Ice and then Sage.
Okay.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, here's Ice. I know her well.
Ice Dancer sent $1 on Rumble. Mr. Captain, what is the name of her fish friend, and also what is that cold foam iced beverage you're drinking?
The fish that I have back there, they're a different assortment of African cichlids and South American cichlids. Different assortment. Because like I don't have saltwater fish, so they're the closest to saltwater fish, different colors and stuff like that. And this is an iced hazelnut oat milk shaken espresso from Starbucks with 6 shots of espresso.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I got to do another. So like I think we're going to like 9:30, something like that, and then I got to do another podcast after that. So I'm gonna be up for a while. So
Dude, I think the most I've gotten is I've drank 6, but not all at once. 4 I have, but I got to get on the.
It comes with 4, so I just added two additional ones. It doesn't help that I have tequila over here too, so it doesn't help.
You gotta mix it in a little bit. She loves that, by the way. She's a Starbucks fanatic.
Yeah,
I've been with her recently when I first got back in touch with you. All right, now here we go. Sage retard, go ahead.
Sage Retard sent $2 on Rumble. Hey Captain. Serious question. What do you think about jails/prisons misclassifying folks, Mexicans as white, Asians as whites, dark-skinned Mexicans as black, etc.? Appreciate you.
You know what? That's why, like, when it comes to numbers, I battle the numbers because people give the numbers to me. Like before I would just battle in general about crime. Because the thing about numbers is you don't know how they're determining those numbers. Like I didn't even learn that when I first used to look at the numbers, I thought those was convictions. When I found out they're not convictions, they're just arrests. And so if you wanted to throw away the numbers, that's fine. Because I do think that they will declassify or misclassify people. And if they're doing that, then that lets you know even the FBI data has an agenda. Because why not make it either all Mexican or all white? Why mix Mexican with white? Why mix dark Mexicans with black? Which lets you know that they have an agenda. And so and that goes to when we say like the white man is the devil, because the most exonerated people are black people for crimes that they didn't commit. So now when you add that into the equation, are the numbers accurate? I would, if somebody said the numbers are inaccurate, I ain't even gonna argue with them. So that's my position on that.
Yeah, I have a problem with that too. And white and what's it, non-Hispanic white and all this nonsense. Yeah, I don't like how they do that. And there's a lot of politics at play, not just with that aspect of the stats, but also underreporting in certain cities and stuff like that. Police departments
Right.
Might not want to move that or over-reporting too. Is
Right.
another thing that happens sometimes, so they can get more funding. These police departments, people don't understand. Their number one thing is they don't want to lose the money they have, and they want to get more. All right,
Right.
especially
And
right.
that's the crazy part, because the agenda is important. So if they're misclassifying, I guarantee you they're doing that for certain numbers.
Yes.
And that numbers game is a big thing. I remember when I watched the TV show The Wire, right?
Yeah, I love The Wire.
The Wire was a good TV show. And remember when they had found all the dead bodies. So remember, they think the murder is down, not knowing that the bodies is in these vacant lots. And then when they find out the bodies are in there, they wanted to wait until after the election so that the numbers is not on that mayor. Now, that's how they play with numbers. So when we start talking about the numbers, is the numbers the numbers? So now if we have to reflect like real life, I guess, at that point. I
think everybody pretty much agrees on this. I see some people in chat too. That's what
they liking me today for a little bit.
I think well, maybe not everything, but I think they agree with that part, right? The numbers, there's a lot of politics at play.
There's definitely politics with everything. Listen, y'all white people, y'all out with y'all. How many people are still satisfied with Trump being that they voted for Trump? There's a lot of people that regret voting for Trump.
You're talking to some of them. Yeah, no.
You voted for Trump.
Yeah, but I mean, and I don't know that I regret, because Kamala's gonna suck anyway. They all suck.
Hey, wait. Did you see Kamala? They said she was drunk. She said, "Motherfucker."
Oh no, I didn't see her drop a MF.
Yeah, she dropped the whole. If I think I could find it, I'm gonna send it to you on Twitter if you want to play it. She said, "Motherfucker's crazy," or some shit like that. She said, "Yeah, she was full out cussing." They said,
you know what? That motherfucker's crazy if she thinks he's going to be president. So she might as well just sit down somewhere. I don't know why she didn't run for governor of California. I thought she probably would have got that. But
I bet she's not going to get in California, because I don't think they liked her at the end.
Nobody likes her, man. What the fuck?
I didn't like her. Yeah, I for sure didn't like her. That's a fact.
Yeah, exactly. She's not likable. No, and they kind of whatever. We could talk about that forever, but they keep putting up these unlikable candidates. And Joe Biden only got in because he's 100 years old and he's been around forever, right? Like, they've had some really shitty choices.
Definitely.
It's Hillary. I
wonder, like, when I be looking at the presidency, I even think that's like a stage. That's a play. Like, I think they already set how they wanted to run. I think they already know how they wanted to run, how they wanted to be, because there's no way, even Hillary being the Democratic choice to go up against Obama, that was weird. Kamala Harris being a Democratic representation. Yeah. And then when you think about the minstrel show of twerk dancers, essentially you got Glorilla and Meg Thee Stallion trying to get people to vote and believe that you're going to actually run a country by having twerk dances.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump too. Donald Trump just did it better. Donald Trump's stage getting shot right in the ear, pumped his fist up. You couldn't tell him. Listen, when Donald Trump, I thought that was staged, me personally, but when Donald Trump got shot, I said right then, there's no way he don't win the election. It was over. Kamala, everybody should have sat down. There's no way he wasn't going to win that one at that point. But I think it was a stage.
Well, a lot of her enthusiasm almost all of it was totally press related. And so I think a lot of those early polls and reactions were based on a reality that was not true. Right. And that Trump was, the polling shows this now. If you look at the final poll, that she was probably not in contention really the whole entire time. That was kind of
it was a joke. It was a shit show. But now with Trump, is it true like the gas prices are still up? Unemployment is up? I
don't know about unemployment. I have to look at that number. The stock market, I think, is up. But I don't think a lot of people are super happy.
Right.
What's going on? I think he's had a better run. The Epstein stuff was a debacle, but he's had a better run since then. Hold on, and we'll go through all the questions.
Dome sent $3. Serious question, Captain. No offense. If all blacks were given a modest sum of money and delivered from USA to a new African country of their choice, they'd be better.
Would they be better off? He was asking.
You know, instead of having to go to Africa, because you know that I don't know if I want to go live where flies is at. You can just give us, you know how they, you know how they say, and I want to give credit. Commander Jenny Hunter said this the other day. You know how they say it's like 15% of black people in America, right?
Yes, that's about right. Yeah, I think
give
so.
us 15% of America. Give us that. Give us that equivalent of land. Leave it to us. Let's say if that 15% took Texas to California, like that little curve. So you go
bottom part down here.
Yeah. So let's say if we went Texas,
you'll have to fight the Mexicans for that.
New Mexico, California. Now we would recoup with the Mexicans. We would be like, man, we got the white man out the way, man. Why we ain't got a beef no more? But whatever land, if they gave us the land here, 15%, since we 15% of the population, and then see what would happen. You could do that. And you know what would happen if they did that? America would be able to say, okay, we finally did something for y'all. You can't say nothing else about slavery. And you know what? They would be right. They would be right because they would have actually did something to make amends. Like Jewish people can't say nothing to Germans because they were made amends. Like America and all them other.
They still do say a lot.
That's crazy because, like I told you, because Jewish people want to be evil as hell and innocent as hell at the same time. That's why I was glad. Remember when I debated that Jewish guy played that Hitler speech on your live?
I do.
Yeah, they translated that Hitler speech. And what was heavy about that Hitler speech was when Hitler said, all you countries that want me to let them stay y'all won't let them in your country. So y'all mad at me because I want them out of my country, but y'all won't let them come into your country. That was crazy right there. But if they were to do that, America would be able to say, we gave y'all something. We apologize for slavery. Here's your 15%. Here's your land. Build it as you see fit. And then you go from there. All you would have to do.
I see some people in chat against that proposal, but I think there's probably some people who would be like, okay, to that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Question for the guest. Send $3. Question for the guest. I, the viewer, have a question for the guest. What does the guest think of Mamdani ending gifted and talented education courses in New York public schools? Is this warfare to blacks?
By the way, I still go back, Clouded Trigger. There's a couple more that I was going to ask from the super chats.
I think that one, I don't know why you wouldn't have that separation. I don't know if that's a thing on blacks because blacks aren't the only ones that could be and gifted and talented. Like everything is not racial. I know I'm black and I know Ralph's white and I know I'm known for my rhetoric and stuff like that. But when you're talking about gifted and talented in public schools, blacks aren't the only ones that's gifted and talented. You got Hispanics, you got whites, you got Asians, you got all of them. And what that does, what they're doing with the schools is more diabolical than just the gifted and talent. And I'll tell you what that is in a second. But to get rid of gifted and talented, you're taking away a child's desire to strive to be better. Like being in the gifted and talented is something that I know if I get all A's, I'm gonna go to this level. And it gives a kid something to strive for if they want to be the best. Like, why would they want to get rid of wanting to be the best and then make everybody regular? That doesn't make sense. But what's more diabolical is what they teach in kids in school about trans and about their sexuality and stuff like that. That's not something that should be pressed upon kids at all. There's a Netflix episode. You see them show Coco, I think Coco Melon.
But I heard about it. By the way, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
No disagreement there whatsoever. And also just to add to that and put a pin in the Netflix thing, we'll go right back to it.
Right.
Gifted and talented, there's all kinds of studies and reports and statistics, if you believe those. You want the smartest kids to stay around each other as much as they can,
right? Because
they propel each other towards further greatness and they learn better and they go further than they would if they're. I mean, look, have you ever been in a fucking public school? I have been and went to one. And I was kind of a smart kid and a troublemaker. I know that's hard to believe, but
I was a smart kid. But I was an asshole, man. When I say I was an was an asshole, man.
Yeah, I was a complete ass, dude. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing. You can't tell me much these days, even. But especially back then, you couldn't tell me shit.
Right.
And sometimes I'd be a good kid and wanting to learn. Sometimes I'd be with the troublemakers. And if I was around other troublemakers who weren't all, necessarily smart, quote unquote, but they were funny and fun and made everybody laugh, right? If I was around those types, I would lean in towards that more. And there's all kinds of studies showing the same thing, that smart kids should be separated a little bit as much as possible so they can do better scholastically. So Netflix, real quick, pick up on that, and then
what I was gonna say, and not too long, but the Coco Melon, they putting trans parents in school and on TV shows with kids, men and women. That's what they're putting on Netflix. So I think a more egregious thing that they're doing, and that's bad too, the education part, but more egregious is convincing kids that they can just change their sex. And how you know this is an agenda. If a kid says, I want to be a drug dealer, you're going to say, no, you can't do that. You're going to explain why. If they want to be a murderer, if they want to be a thief, if they want to have sex, you're going to tell them no. But for some reason, if you're a little boy and you want to say you're a girl, that's supposed to be something that's okay. Kids don't come out of the womb knowing right from wrong. You have to teach them right from wrong. If they go to steal something, you're gonna say, no, get your hand out the cookie jar. They all they know is they want cookies. They don't know that it's stealing, that they gotta ask. You have to teach a kid everything. And so to put that in the schools, it's a direct attack on kids. And I don't even think it's a direct attack on kids for kids to be with kids. It's a direct attack on kids for adults to be with kids. That's what the real attack is. They want that boy to identify as a girl so they can sleep with that boy. That's what they want to do.
No disagreement here whatsoever.
This is a Cap and Ralph agreement podcast. That's
we agree on a lot tonight. And there are a few things we didn't agree, but
right. There's always going to be a few. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in my style, I'm not really trying to argue. I want to hear from the guests.
And we've only done this one other time. Normally, you have somebody else for me to beat up. So this is like the second time I think we've ever just had a.
Normally, there's somebody else here for him to argue, because we get along. First off, that's how the show is, right, with the debates and everything.
Right.
When we put those up, and then second off, I get along really well with Captain. We got
Hey, the only time, not that you publicly disagree with me, but when we had what's the white girl that said nigga?
Lily, I remember that.
That's when he didn't want me to beat up on her too much. He didn't want me to beat up on her too much.
That ended up being wild. Well, I said before, I don't think she had done blood sports before like that. Right, I was like,
but it ended up being a great interview. I thought it was dope.
It
did. She did exactly what I said she was going to do. Turned it into a career.
She did. She hasn't been on in maybe 6 or 8 months, but she's taking off.
She's being on other platforms, and you can't really knock her because
I don't knock her off.
She can't. She got fired from a job. I mean, she might as well take it. I would take advantage of it. I would have took advantage of everything. As soon as they'd have put me on there, something like that, I would have took smooth advantage of all of that.
She parlayed it, and hopefully we'll have her back on. So I haven't checked back in. She's been super busy, but I love it. Even if we don't have her back on, which I think we will, but I like when people come through here and you yourself have come through here and been on some big platforms since then. So, I love seeing that.
I like it too, because it's like, and then I always like coming back as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's cool. We did the show, and you did these other shows. Like I think y'all got me into the Jesse Lee Peterson, because I remember y'all had Jesse Lee Peterson on. Y'all let me have a conversation with her for a little bit, and then like maybe a month or so later, my school got an email requesting to come on there. So you never know what connection you get based on where you're at. So all of that works out.
Well, I'm always surprised, and of course we used to have the #1 YouTube late night show and all this stuff, and we've had to bounce around. I've had some controversies and all this stuff, but a lot of people still pay attention to the folks who come through here. And I've had it even recently. They pluck somebody out, right? Like, hold on, wait, let's get this guy on my show. Which I love because that's flattering towards me. And it just gets
definitely.
Because he's got a good scouting eye, right? So it's flattering towards me, and it just it's good for everybody, really. And it's good for exposure for our show, and I can say, hey, so and so came through here one time. So all right, let's see. We got some other super chats. Let's bounce through them. Also, where is Clouded Trigger? Oh man, where did that come? Man, we got several. Okay, wait. Maybe that wasn't Clouded Trigger. Let's see. Let me make sure. Canadian law enforcement. Okay. I think we did get through those. I'm just let me go through these.
Randall_flag sent $1 on Rumble. Captain, on Blue Sky liberals claim MAGA whites and blackface commit heinous crimes in big inner cities in order to inflate crime statistics and force the National Guard to office black neighborhoods.
Yeah, we kind of talked about
we
kind of covered that. You know, you can see an example of that when George Floyd got killed by that cop, and then when they was bombing police stations, I knew that was white people because black people don't think like that. Black people gonna look for a local store, where they get sneakers and TV.
Yeah,
they don't. Black people ain't strategizing for the riot. They looking for whatever's close to them.
And shit.
When I saw the police building burning, I said, "That is white folk. That's white folk."
The other direction from the police. Yeah, like let's go blow up the police station. Wait, hold on. What are you talking about, man? Hold on.
I knew that right away.
No, man, I'd have to do that too. Okay, here we go. What about this? There's Sage is next, I think. Let me see if this will pop up. Go. There it is.
Question for the guest sent $3. No, they are getting rid of the program because blacks are underrepresented in it by a lot. They are using a racial justification for this. I'm asking the guests reaction to race being used in this way to get rid of a child's deal.
I don't agree with that. Yeah, I don't know if that's true what the commentator said, but I don't think there's any reason to get rid of a gifted and talented program.
That's the same. I don't all black. I would say the same thing.
I don't agree with that at all.
The principle behind the kids who are gifted and talented, right? Like
the kids be gifted and talented. Listen, they used to have schools for gifted and talented. Like in Jersey City, it was a school called Academic, and it was about the gifted and talented. I think you should have them schools. I don't think you should.
That has to be not just classes. Yeah, send them to special.
Yeah, I don't see what the issue is.
Yeah, I don't either. Ma'am Donnie's retarded for Ma'am Donnie's doing everything he can to blow it. I don't think he's gonna be able to blow it. I think he's gonna win. But okay, let's see.
Sager Retard sent $5 on Rumble. Serious question. Outside or reparations, what would you think could fix race relations and shine a light that this is more a class warfare than race warfare?
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that because that was one of our topics, race relations, and we
we didn't hit it yet. And I think can you pull it up one more time? I just want to read.
Sure. And I'll read it. Serious question. Outside of reparations, what would you think could fix race relations and shine a light that this whole thing is more class warfare than race warfare?
I think if America stopped focusing on race. So we're the peons. What I mean by we're the peons, the president focuses on race. The Democrats focus on race. The Republicans focus on race. The governor focuses on race. The mayor focuses on race. So America, when I'm saying America now, I'm not talking about us that are not in that political field, are not in that realm. I'm only talking about the politics. So the politics of America thrives on race, because they almost like they have to show one race is superior and we can't function no other way. So the only fix is to destroy that dynamic. You would have to destroy the dynamic of making it white crime, like those FBI statistics that we're talking about. We should get rid of them, and it should just be murder is at 12,000, rape is at 30,000, drugs arrest is at 50,000, and we don't know who's committing the most. don't know who's committing the least. Once America gets rid of that type of dynamic, then race relations may be able to go away because, and you know what, that'll get rid of a lot of podcasts too. Because, because what happens, because America focuses on race like that, you'll have people that believe that one race is better than the other, or know that height will get me views, will then start saying, well, you niggas got to do this. You rednecks got to do this. You gooks got to do this. You spicks got. And what are they basing it off of? They're basing it off of the statistics that America is pumping out. So we end up, as the peons, we end up falling for the banana in the tailpipe, because now it's like, if a politician wants to get elected, they run to numbers and they say, if y'all elect me, I'm going to do this. If y'all do this, I'll give an example. In Baltimore, Donald Trump wanted to bring the National Guard into Baltimore because he said it's so terrible. And of course, Baltimore is looked at as a predominantly black area when they talk about the crime. What they won't tell you is that the mayor of Baltimore has, in July, well, excuse me, the story came out in July, but the report was out in April, that they had the lowest murder rate since 1970. So they talk about 50 plus years, they was able to reduce it. And when they went into how he reduced it, he said that he started looking at the crime in Baltimore as a health issue. And so he started putting out programs, different things, putting stuff in place to reduce overall crime, which he was able to do. So now you got one person using race as an element to bring the National Guard in. You got another person saying, okay, we're not going to talk about race at all. We're just going to address it as a health issue. So America's problem is that America itself is racist, even though it says we're the land of the free. Give me your poor, give me your weak, give me your strong, give me all of this, like you can get over it. And the capitalism that America thrives on is also why you can't, because even if you take it out of race, business-wise, we're in competition. Everything, we're in competition. I remember when Ma Bell had to break off, Windows had to break off. The reason why Windows had to break off, because they didn't want them to have a monopoly. So that's why you have the Hewlett Packard, you have the Dell, you have all these different things. Ma Bell couldn't own all of them. That's why you have even though you got T-Mobile, AT&T, a lot of the lines that they're running off of is old Verizon towers. Now, since they've come around, they have their own towers. Why? Because you're a capitalist society. So when you look at America as a whole, America is all about number one. If you go with vehicles, you can't just get a Ford truck. You get in a Ford truck because it's better than Chevy, because it's better than Jeep. Everything is competition in America. So the only way to change it is to not have that level of competition. And what I'm talking about is impossible to happen in America. That's impossible. You would have to change constitutions. You would have to change a lot to get rid of that.
Now I'm looking through here. I think if you want to, I think he's got to do another show after this. I don't see many callers in there anyway, so we're gonna get that hype back up.
Yeah, I think what we should do, maybe either every 3 weeks or maybe a monthly, where they can start seeing us on there. And so we would want to do the
once
debate.
a month is good for sure. I mean, every 3 weeks is fine too.
So
But
it's like if it's October. So this October 7th, maybe November 7th, maybe around that time frame, we do another show. I think it'd be dope.
Yeah, let's start doing that. We could set a schedule.
Yeah, set a schedule.
Whatever.
People can look forward to it.
Okay, yeah. So people know you'll be coming by and stay in contact and stuff. Let me see here through our list of topics. I think. Oh no, we didn't talk about. I do want to talk about this before you go. The Ukrainian chick, Irina, I think's her name. I forget.
The one that got stabbed on the bus.
Yeah, and I think that was in North Carolina, if I recall correctly. It was insane to see, Captain. I don't know if you saw the footage.
Yeah, I did see it. I thought that was horrible to see. Yeah. And from what I understand, that guy has mental problems. And one thing white America should understand is killers that have mental problems. And it's unfortunate because when white people perform acts, they always look at their mental. So I think he should go to jail. I think he should pay for that crime. And it's just an unfortunate thing to where you can't even be on the train. And you know, when I watched that video, I thought about I'll be oblivious sometimes. Like when I get on airplanes, I don't know if I have. So when I get like on airplanes, I have headphones like these on. Like
Yeah.
These is Bowles and Wilkins XP8, real good headphones, and my music is loud. When I watched that video, it made me analyze: should I have loud music on? Should I, when I'm sitting down, should I just sit and be comfortable? Because that person was just sitting comfortable, and then somebody comes behind her, and it's normal to just, okay, I'm not, we all sitting on the train, you thinking it's going to be civil, but then it's not civil. And so this is a time where we got to start as a people, as human beings, I would say, reevaluating how you are in public spaces, because you don't know the mindset. What we learned about that is that you don't know the mindset of people when you're out in public. You think everybody is a normal human being, and what we learned with that is that it's not. And so it's unfortunate that she died.
Yeah, you gotta, keep an awareness.
Awareness got to be on point.
You only got one life. I'll say this: I see somebody bringing up in chat that he was kind of a repeat offender. I guess they had like 12 different cases on him and all this stuff. Clearly, he did seem to be mentally ill too. I don't think a normal person would just kill some random little bitty woman, white or not. Now, obviously, got a lot of attention because she's a beautiful white girl from Ukraine.
Anytime you have a racial crime, I think mainly because it's racial. That's like, remember I said, like, when it's a black versus white, 90% of the time it's racial. And so, of course, a black person unaliving a white woman, especially a white woman, you don't touch y'all snow bunny. Now, I normally don't call them snow bunnies. That's why I say y'all snow bunny. It's not a snow bunny to me, but it's y'all.
She's very pretty too, and she'd come over as from war-torn Ukraine.
Is she illegal or is she legal?
No, she was legal, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, she was legal. Okay. So, I think that repeat offender. Was he a repeat offender?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't have a repeat offender, but he got mental issues. So
it's a related topic because a lot of these repeat offenders, a lot of them do have mental issues. That's why they're repeat offenders. And
that goes back to the judicial system, where the judicial system is not about justice. That's a whole nother subject.
Well, and it's a money-making endeavor.
Yeah, that's it. The judicial system is all about money. Like, if you got money, you're not going to go to jail. If you got no money, you're going to be in jail. If you mental, the thing about being mental, you could be mental and then they put you in a mental institution, and then all you got to do is act sane long enough, and then they let you back out on the street. So there's no cure. And that's the other thing. What is the rehabilitation for somebody like that? Like, what's the monitoring if someone is mentally ill and they commit a crime, when you let them out, why ain't there some type of home or something like that, or detention center?
Crazy people.
Like have a detention center, like a halfway house where, okay, you can't really get all the way free. We got to monitor you. Something like those things should be done across the board. Like America, when it comes to crime, you could almost say that America ain't really against crime like you would think they are, because a lot of laws and situations, when you get arrested, there's so many loopholes where you can get out of being in jail. So it's almost even, as a matter of fact, that goes back to what I was saying about America with the capitalist society, because even when you get locked up, the battle is down between the prosecutor and the defense attorney. So if you got a public defender, the public defender is probably somebody that's going to try to work it out what's best between the attorney. But if you get a paid lawyer, now that lawyer is battling the prosecutor. So now even that's a debate. So it's not even about what the person did anymore. It's about who can win between this prosecutor and this defense attorney. So now they compete, and then if the prosecutor can convince, he wins. If the defense attorney can convince, he wins. The victim rarely wins in American justice. Rarely.
Now let's see. There's one more. I'll get this in since they sent it just there. I was going to finish there, but let's see if this
I'll
will
take
pop.
one more, then we can wrap it up.
Yeah, I was thinking that. There we go. There we go.
Question
This
for
voice is
the
crazy.
guest. $23. Can we get a thank you for all the wonderful Black people working at the American TSA? Transportation safety is so important. However, they have harassed Ralph a few times at the airport.
Once or twice. It wasn't just a black thing, though. It's
Oh, was it a black person that did it to you?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
It might have been. I've gotten into arguments with so many workers at the fucking
What you
TSA.
arguing with them about?
I don't know. Some of them want to be pricks, Captain.
Get the pre-check.
Huh? Yeah, no, I had pre-check for a while. Yeah, I don't have it now, but yeah, I had it for a while.
I just got that pre-check. That's lovely, man. I could leave my laptop inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't got to take none of that out, man. Well, hey, on the subject of that, real fast, I just want to say, the airports, they need more black pilots, though. Because when I was looking it up, we only 3% of all the pilots. That means all them airplane crashes is by white people.
Sure, black pilots, would they have black passengers too? The chat might be okay with that. All right, I'll read this. I already know the answer to this, though. It asked if you were interested in a conversation with Richard Spencer. I think we talked about that.
Yes, I've been wanting that. Like Whack 100 tried to set it up on No Jumper. I would love to sit down with Richard Spencer and have a good conversation with him. So if anybody can set that up, let's set that up.
He was just on my show. Was it 2 weeks? Was it last week?
Contact him, man. Contact him and say, man, I got this good black guy. He's not going to yell at you. And I think it'd be great if we can have a good conversation.
We've proven we've had some fiery conversations, but we had some really calm ones too. Right? And even the fiery ones, I think there's.
Hey, I ain't saying it ain't gonna be fiery, but it ain't got to be all disrespectful and crazy. But I would love to have a conversation with Richard Spencer. That would be dope. And if we could do it on your platform, it would be more fire. So if you had a more
natural location for it, really.
I mean, if you could talk to him 2 weeks ago, talk to him after this live. Say, hey, man, you should come back and we should set that up. Maybe that could be what we do next month, or if he's available earlier than that.
You know what? I'll see what I can do. Sometimes it's hard to wrangle him in, but we just had him on recently, so it would be great. Just a conversation. It doesn't have to be.
Definitely right. It ain't got. It could be a conversation, just like how you and I had this conversation.
How we talked tonight. Yeah.
Just throw some topics out there, and we just give our opinions on the topic, and then just go just like that. I think that'd be dope.
I remembered we had talked about that, so I'll see what I can do and tell everybody where they can find you. And good luck on your next appearance.
I appreciate it, man. I'm Captain Tazaryak of ISBK and the Commander Jenny Honda. You can find me on YouTube at Captain Tazaryak TV. You can also find my leaders channel, Commander Jenny Honda. It's on Black Watch. It's a hell of a show. I call it like the Black CNN. If you want to get great news as what's the truth going on, almost similar to like how Ralph gives the real truth of the news. Commander Jenny Hanna does the same exact thing. You can also go to our website, isgbk.com, if you want to get more information. As always, I appreciate Ralph having me on. I'm looking forward to November 7th. I'm going to have that in my head. It don't have to be exactly November 7th, but I'm going to have that in my head. That week will be the next time we do the live stream.
100%. And I'll get in touch and we'll set the day. Maybe November and December we'll go
ahead.
Yep,
definitely.
That sounds great. And I always love having you on the show.
Definitely.
All these times, and have a good rest of your October. Happy Halloween early.
Okay, no, I don't celebrate, but I appreciate it.
Right. I didn't think about that actually. Yeah, devil shit. Excuse me. Fuck Halloween.
Hey, no sweat, man. You take it easy.
Later, man. Captain Tazaryak out here.
All right. Put myself on the stage. All right, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. Tune in about 25 minutes. I'll be back on another live stream. The work don't stop. I may be going. I don't want to tell y'all what I got coming up until it actually locked in. But if I got this locked in, this could be pretty good. What I might be doing this week. So in about 25 minutes, you'll see me back. So until next time. Shalom.